Here we are, the last assignment for HBA2, and my final reflection for Sales Foundations. So, going into the class, I was very excited. Obviously, I took Hustle and Grit with Eric in the fall, so I kind of knew what to expect, and I was excited to learn more from Eric and many life lessons that he derives. And it was a learning experience for me. I've never had, not obviously, but I've never had a sales experience. I'm not going into sales. I'm going into accounting. So I was like, learning some sales skills never hurts. And then on the first day, we talked about sales is everywhere. It's going to be a part of my daily life. I'm always going to be selling myself, selling an idea, and then who knows, maybe I will be into sales at some point. So it was exciting going into that class knowing that it's not just for a one-to-one sales pitch. Like these skills can be applied to other parts of your life, which I found to be very reassuring when we first started the course. Going on to my favorite concept, I loved the sales role plays that we did. Like I said, I've never really had a sales experience myself. So being able to get these skills that we are being taught and put them to real practice was very effective. Even if it was just with a peer, I found it that I was able to get outside of my comfort zone in terms of sales in these meetings. And then that final role play really kind of summarized everything that we'd done, and we were able to actually tangibly work on something. If I were to take away one major point with me from this class, it would be the art of preparation. That's what I discovered. I feel like I've met salespeople that are like so on the ball, so good, so understanding. And I've always wondered how they are so effective at what they do. And I realize now that it's all about the backstage preparation. When we were getting ready for those role plays, the research, the time, the effort to look through people's LinkedIns, to research the company, to get all that information in your head is really the key to being an effective salesperson. That backstage versus onstage. Backstage, whatever, 80% of the time is spent backstage just for that 20% to show up on stage. So that was definitely one of the key things I'm taking with me. You can't just wing it. Sales is not something you can just lollygag through, show up, be effective. You really have to practice and prepare and understand who you're talking to, what you're selling, and all the intrinsic ideologies behind that. I thought that was very fascinating to learn. One other thing that I found very interesting to learn was the ideal customer. The role play we did where we weren't necessarily a fit, and the takeaway being that most companies don't starve due to a lack of opportunities; they drown due to a lack of focus. I thought that was very impactful. Even for sales, for the corporate world, but even in your life, like if you're friends with someone that's draining your time and you're not getting back what you want, why are you doing that? It doesn't make any sense. So I thought that was a very interesting lesson and a very thing I'll take away from this course. And now to kind of tie it all up, this course was amazing. I showed up every class. It's just I'm happy to be there. Eric's one of the most engaging and prepared as I just mentioned, professors, and it really shows up that backstage effort to bring us this on-stage show that we think is like so natural and so engaging. I know it takes a lot of effort, and I appreciate that. Like I said in Hustle and Grit, this was an amazing experience, and I was so happy that I was able to not only do this class, but both classes and have a full year with Eric. Anyway, cheers. Happy graduation. Woohoo!